Okay, welcome to another live stream. In this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you how the characters can be assigned to for example, a farm, and then how they can be updated. So I'm just playing around with the layout. So first things first, we've got the actual. This is in the actual farm file. So the farm file will have the card that's from the Geopolitical up the top. Then what I've got in mind is to have each of the groups of 5 people who live at the town, at this farm, to be listed, going down the page, so top to bottom. So the first group here, for example, and then what I'm wanting to do is that as more and more information is found out about them, the more the characters are activated, that more information will be available to them. Now, the information for them will be found in the farm file. So, part of me is thinking, well, it becomes common knowledge to a certain extent that when these people are going out adventuring, that it's going to become more and more evident what their backstory is and things like that. So it's using a lot of random number generating sort of concept similar to previous. So there is that. So it's not perfect, but it does the job. So I'm just going to show you what I had in mind was to create I'm just been moving it around. What I've got in mind is to make a location where I can put their home in it. So basically the home here in this cells here will be these numbers here. Now I was going to make it based on rank to a certain extent, so we do have a few artisans here, so really that I'm going to make it so that the top artisan, the top like maybe the party leader, for example, gets the best place. So the best place in this is, in my opinion, the central keep. So I'm going to put in 1, and I'm going to then 18. I'm going to change the font size to 18 for all of them. Okay, so there's 1. Then there is, in my opinion, 3 is the next best one. So we're going to take all of that and we're going to paste it there. Just going to check to see that right, it doesn't. Okay, so this is another thing as well, which is that I was hoping that I'd be able to, for example, just make it so that I can copy and paste that, and it would actually show up as being. So maybe it's the fact that I've got the dollar signs in there. So I'll just try that, removing the dollar signs. So the dollar signs actually make it so that it's fixed and linked to, for example, in this case, that cell there. If I've got the dollar signs, it means that when I copy and paste it, it doesn't want to change. Now, if I copy that now that I've removed the okay, we've got some strangeness. Alright, so there's that. I'll copy that and I'll paste into there, and let's just F9 it. And in this case, it seems to be doing the job. So that's Indigo Boar, then that's Brave Goose. as your B. So F9ing it shows that it does the job. So it's actually referring to cells progressively. We'll do the same thing again. This time I'll just check. Seems to be doing the job. So, alright, so it's referencing the correct one. Okay, so that means that the that means that I can do it that way instead of the other way. I'm just going to try this now and see if that does the job. No, it's not. So as you can see, it's referring, well, it's got a 0 in that cell there, and I'm not sure why it decided to do that. So we'll just try it again. No, it doesn't like it when I do that. So, alright, what I can do is refer to oops. Okay, so that one's referring to that one. That one is referring to that one. Okay, let's see if that does the job. F9 again, and this time it does. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to keep. I think I'm going to have to keep the. I'm going to have to keep it that way. Anyway, so just so that I can differentiate between the lines, I'm just going to check in. Then I'm going to make these a bit of an offset color. So just so that there's a bit of difference there. May as well do this one too. Okay. Alright, so what I've got in here, I'm not sure if you can see it, so I'm going to zoom in because it's really important that you can see what I'm talking about. Not quite there yet. Okay. Alright, so we've got the character, and then over to the right, what we're going to have is we're going to have more and more information revealed about them. Now, I'm just a little bit out to lunch about some of these things. So having the titles down the bottom, having the titles down the bottom is making it so that it's a little bit I could put this down here and then put these titles at the top. It does look a bit weird to have the title headings down the bottom. The reason I've got them down the bottom, of course, is so that the lines match up. So these 4 cells that are in place for each NPC, I want to make it so all the information carries over along that line. So I've only got 4 rows that I can work with at the top, and I could put those up there. I mean, look, I'll try now. It's no problem. So I'll cut that, paste it up there, drop that down, and that's 4, and then paste up there. Okay. drop the font size down. I might just chuck a thick line border around it. Okay, so then I can put this down the bottom. And maybe I can make that bigger. It's not really making much sense to do that, but I might actually, no, I might just undo that. And then I might actually put in another little thing called party notes. Okay, so that's another way I can do it. So I've made them 8, and then I make them. So that means that I've now got this entire section here available for notes. So any notes from here can be transferred over here. So when I say notes from here, anything that happens in the first adventure. It could be that I incorporate a. Alright, so there's a few things that I need to do that I may need to consider. So things like their ongoing wealth. So, for example, I've got this one here as being home. Now, I could feasibly split this and make this their home. And then I could make this one SP. Alright, so the SP layer is just a running total of what they've earned. So we're going to have to reduce the size of that, for example. So that's just a way of doing it. So yeah, so the yep, sorry, just need to put the outside border. Alright, so if I make it so the artisan herbalist lives in the central keep, now what I can make it is so that there's like 2 of them in the central keep. Then I can drop down to, what's the next best thing? Well, then I can basically just put the rest of them in different places. So we can go and put the artisan leather worker, for example, we'll put them in 2. So 2 is the gatehouse tower there. I'm making it so that the locals have taken over some of the fortifications, and they're no longer being used as they were for before the War of the Gods. Then, of course, I can just go and continue along. So that's 2, and then I may as well go and put the rest of them in 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. So that kind of layout, making it so that they've got a home. And it might be that they decide that they want to spruce up their home if there's any problems with any of the stonework. Now I did notice that the sandstone wall, there's little pains in the neck that I find out after the fact. So one of the pains in the neck factors is, I think we talked about in one of the previous was that I've made it so that each of these pieces of stone has the random hit points, but also has a comment field in it. So the problem is that on this one, obviously I've forgotten to put that in. I mean, look, I've been working on this for so long, it's not unusual for me to forget some of these things, and not having touched it for such a long time after I've made it, continuing on with the other ones and such. So it is possible that I've forgotten to do it. Anyway, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to make up for that by just changing it with some add-ons. So I'm getting distracted. I'll have to come back to this because the objective of what I'm trying to achieve right now is to show off how I'm intending to make it so that once the character's been activated in the geopolitical system, in terms of accounting, like keeping accounts, records of what's going on with the characters, that I take them home. So once they're activated, I can simply take them, cut them from the system and put them into their unique location. So in this case, it'll be Farm 1. I'll be renaming, instead of saying Farm 1, I'll be renaming it as Merkavik, for example. So anyway, so the thing is that the population of this farm, it's under capacity. So I'm making it so that there could be 30 people living in this place. So instead of people sharing, at the moment these 2-story 10 by 10s and 2-story 1s and 3s, they're underpopulated. So the people who are in there might need to share. So anyway, we'll go and keep going with that. So I'm going to now go to, where are we? Alright, so I just need to copy that, paste that, can't do that. Alright, so I need to can that. Need to cut that. Now that didn't translate at all. So alright, so we've got another thing we need to try. So that one there, need to remove the dollar signs, so that that is now going to reflect that. So so the dollar signs basically mean that you it means that it's linked, it stays linked to that particular cell regardless of how many times you paste it. So in this case, I've removed those little I've removed them so that people can, or when I want to do an update. So, for example, I put get another group of 5 settlers, and I put them here. Then they become activated. So then I can simply, well, what I'll be doing is grabbing that and copying, and then I'll be pasting it down here beside another one. And what it'll do, hopefully, is then it will populate correctly. It will basically refer to the new cells, and so I won't have to do much replication, duplication, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so what I was going to say is number 3, so party 2 living at this place, starting with 3. We ended at 6, so we'll go 7, 8, 9. And we may as well go and allocate them to 10. Alright, so may as well. Let's go 10. Alright, so now we've got them allocated to these locations. Now a little bit about the information that's going to be passed on. So again, with the F9, I can continue to press F9 and it will continue to come up with variations. Now, what I've got in mind is, as I said, I will be copying and pasting values only. So when you paste values only, it will basically leave it with the last. It will leave it with the last thing that it was assigned to. So that's what I did. Okay, so just notice that the thick border at the top wasn't there. Thick border wasn't there, so just look, it's just an aesthetics thing. Okay, so what we've got is a few different things that we're going to be passing on, like slowly releasing transfer information. So again, their alias is there. Then I've decided that one of the first things that's going to come out will be their allegiance. So you'll find out about what kind of person they are in terms of like what they believe should be the future of Fellini. So some of them, they still want Fellini independence, and yet even in the same adventuring party, you can have disputes about politics and such. So, for example, how this will work out, it really is just like any other political conversation that you might have with people. So anyway, so we've got the allegiance, we've got the primary motivator, so what they're primarily motivated in life. So that tells a lot about people as well. We've got, well, anyway, what I've decided is I've got a few different other ones. So their family of origin and things like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip out this one here. Strip out this one here. Oh, now I'll copy that. So copy, paste, alias, then family origin, then worship, then look, the whole thing about their home and such. Yeah, look, it should vary. It really should vary. And so, look, what it means for what we're trying to do is that effectively what it's going to do is it'll mean that we've got the ability to they can move into a different place, they can move house, things like this. So by keeping it like this, it means that it shows a progression. So if they move out of 1, they can move into 3 or whatever. So that's the reason why. Now what it's also going to result in, by having home and SP in here and here, it does mean that I can, for example, I can go up here and I can say, all right, 10,000. Oh, sorry, equals 10,000 plus sum of, well, no, look, we could just do that, for example. Alright, so you can see, I'm not sure if you picked up on that, it's gone and called it 20,002 silver pieces based on the fact that we've got their home in both cases being 1. So that's added, done a sum total of all those things there. So instead of that, we can just do that plus, well, no. We'll cancel that. Nope. Okay, yep. Okay, I'm going to turn off the volume. Alright, so we're going to stop that. We're going to go equals that plus 10,000. Alright, and we have to progressively add to that. It doesn't really matter. Once I do it once, it'll be fine. So I can just do, for example, copy that, paste there, paste there, paste there, paste there, and you should see that it's calculating in the same way. Right, what else is there? Well, I need to do the bottom one too. Alright, so that's that. So look, just continuing on, information being slowly released. As I said, I want to have these cards. I want the card to have the alias. I want it to have the information that's being found out. I want that information to be on a card like this. The reason is that this card could basically be something that's found. Now, it won't be in this format. Okay, so if people find, if I want to release information about a character, then I can release information about a party of characters like this. The other thing to keep in mind is that not everyone's going to have access to the geopolitical information. So the information about these individuals, well, it's really, if you were on a geopolitical move with them, then you'll know this information about them. It might be that, yes, these cards get given to anybody who is on the geopolitical move gets to find out information like this. Now, there's slow release and then there's really slow release, and I don't think that it's necessary to be that slow about it. Originally, what I had in mind was that I'd release one thing about them and then one of their skills, one of their secondary skills and things like this. So in this case, I want to just get some of the information out there sooner than later. So maybe I should actually have I don't think it's necessary. Okay, I mean, the thing is, these cards, these are supposed to be also can be used as character cards, as like character sheets, for example. So having home and SP here is great, but I think that we need to reduce that. All right. Well, I can set it to 8 point. It's not perfect. I mean, you can see it on the screen right now, but Anyway, we'll muck around with the font sizes and stuff like that later. So I'm just going to clear that. And what did I do? Did something. Ah, right. Cool. So we'll leave that alone. We'll go up here. We've now got home and SP. Look, I do think that I've got to change the rollout of information a little bit faster than this. So I'm going to reuse these here for something else. Now, I will copy that and then paste that. Then change that to, I don't know, secondary skill. Alright. Alright, second skill. So, second skill. Alright, now, how are we going to do this? Alright, so what I've got here is a character sheet that I've basically got together. I'm going to F9 it, and you can see that the primary skill, it changes. I don't know where that went. Anyway, I've been cutting from it, so maybe that's part of the reason why. Also, I cut this from a different location. So anyway, so each character's got 300 character points to spend. So what I've done with these is that I've pretty much made it so that, you know, some of them start off and have their primary skill listed as artisan, for example, which is basically they require 51%, as in 51 character points, to be allocated to make artisan. Their secondary, second skill, third skill, fifth skill, etc., etc. Now, generally, they can get a primary and another 4 skills. So primary and another 4 skills at up to artisan rank. Now, this is just NPCs. You know, people can create their own player characters the way they see fit. I've got things like unskilled as well. Now, what I'm having in mind is that they're basically training to get to artisan level. I'm sorry, apprentice level before they can actually use it. So they have to get another 5 points in certain skills. So now night vision, I think that I made. Now look, the other thing about some of these skills, they're racial skills. So night vision, it might be that this individual has, you know, a little bit of elf in them. So I'm making it so that there's a range of skills that come up. Now this is a random generator, so now why there's water breathing as well. Anyway, I'm also going to be realistic about it and go through the NPCs, and you know, if I see something that looks weird, then I'm going to can it. The other thing is duplication, so you can see there's two. It's got 2 artisan ranks of counselor. Now I know that I can put a calculation in here that says that if this is counselor, don't make it counselor. I'm not going to muck around with that. It might require some manual, but so what. And yeah, I'm just going to keep in mind that, or keep an eye out for errors. So I know that I went around in circles there, but let's just talk about the numbers. So what I've got in mind is to, great. All right, so that is not what I wanted. Okay, so that's cool. All right, so we can just copy that, tick the box, Move over. And alright, so what I was going to say is that we're going to need to make some space. So I'll make some space here. Copy that down to there. Make sure that, no, it's not. So I need to make sure that it's got the right one in it. Now, sorry, I have got update 1, update 2, update 3. So that's update 1 there. 2, 3. Okay, we may as well copy that, paste that, and call that 4. Right. So, we also need to copy the top here. Okay, so second skill. So going down here, what I'm going to do is I need to find a place that I can keep the records for these characters. Now, what I can do is I can basically create. Unfortunately there's 4. There's 4 there. There's 5 characters. So look, I'm going to skimp out. I'm going to cut or reduce the size of one of these. So this one here, I'm going to make this alright. I'm going to cut that, put it down here. Yep, that's cool. I'm going to restore that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm making some space. What have we got there? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, that's 5. So we can do it. We could have done it before. Alright, undo all that. Alright, so the party notes. Let's just undo that. Take it across here. Okay, so we're going to put that as left, right justification. Now what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells. Okay, so what we can do is we can refer to them. So the way we do that is we check this out. So that's saying if it's 51, then it assigns the rank. So we're going to copy all that. And we're going to now right, here we are. Oh, bloody hell. Alright, I've done it on the wrong one. So I will go into here. No. Well, I may as well chuck it there to start with. Alright, so that's that. We'll chuck that in there. Alright, I'm going to copy that and paste that there. Then I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to cut that and paste that there. Copy that, paste that there. Alright. So this one here is going to need to be cut and pasted up here. Oops. Stop that. Alright. So cut up here, paste. Then down here I'm going to chuck in 51. And you can see that it's just basically made space for it. Now I'm going to select this entire row here, and I'm going to make it 1. Now you can do that. I realise that it makes no sense at the moment, but I've done that a few times where I've basically made it so it's ridiculously small, and you can barely see that little dot there. So it doesn't pick up. You can't tell that it's a number. I'll try zooming in. Ridiculously small. And look, my eyes aren't the best, but I can barely make out that 51 there. However, what that 51 represents is the ability for me to go into that cell and just add an extra experience point. So as this individual progresses, they're going to have the XP is going to be added, and then it's going to increase the rank of the individual. So they'll not level up. But this at the moment is referring to the wrong cell. So we're going to say if this cell here, so it's D198 or DS198. Okay, so that should now be true. So what it's doing is referring to there, and if it's basically above 75 or 74 or no 51 or more, then it's an artisan. And so if I change that now to, let's just say 90, and then F9, you can see it's gone to master. If I go back and change it to 20, you can see it goes to unskilled. If I go back to 51 and F9, it goes back to artisan. Now the skill, let's just look at the skill, and we're going to copy that, and in here we're going to paste it. Okay. Now, I'm not sure about this font size. I'm going to have to reduce the font size. So we'll reduce it down to 8, and that's still nowhere near small enough. Yeah, what I found is that some of the skills have the wording. I just can't make the wording any smaller. Anyway, so this one here is not referring to the right cell, so we need to make it go down by 1. I'm not quite sure what we did wrong. Alright, so that's 198. And that should be 199. Yeah. Look, it's going to suck if I have to do these manually. But when I've been playing around with some of these calculations, it's unbelievable how many times I've had to do manual changes. So I hate doing it, but sometimes it's the only way you can do it. And all you can hope for is that once you've done it once and you check that it's copying and pasting properly, that you no longer have to do it. Now that's 201. That should be 201. $202. Okay. F9, F9, F9. Just checking to make sure. So, alright, so that's their second skill. And so I think that explains how and why I've done it that way. Yeah, so if I basically release a little bit of their family, a little bit of backstory, and a skill with each time they're activated, then yeah, it's going to make it so that these characters will slowly build up. The slow reveal. If I'm basically having people taking on these character roles in a live environment, giving them too much information. I found that with Murder Mystery Nights, if you give them too much information, then they generally they get killed. They basically open their mouth too wide and then they get taken out. So yeah, so I'm not trying to keep people in the dark, but I'm trying to preserve these NPCs' lives. So I need to really be careful with that. Let's F9 it just to make sure. And okay, so it seems like that is correct, and it seems like that is correct. Okay, so at least with the copying and pasting from left to right across, it seems to be working okay. Anyway, so we've got family origin, their worship. Now we need to look at some other things. So we'll delete that, and then we'll go and pick something else. So let's talk about the disposition. So we'll put in there disposition. I'm trying to make it so that there are multiple elements of a person, like in terms of personality traits and such. I want to make it so that people can jump into these roles and they've got a lot of different indicators, like performance indicators. Now the point is that I really want people to rate performances. What I've got in mind for the rating system is effectively you go up to somebody and like a referee or somebody who's in charge of a particular geopolitical, and you say to them, watch this, and effectively you're observed. That's what that happened there. What I did was I've selected outside borders, and then that stripped out the double border, so the thick border, and it put it in the wrong place. So right. So disposition and outlook. So yeah, the whole thing is I want to make it so that people have got plenty of opportunity to role play these characters, and they've got plenty to play with in terms of, was that disposition? Yes, it was. Plenty of character personality quirks, whatever, to play with, and they can generally. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to role play these things if they just take the opportunity to give it a go. And I'm really my eyes are starting to get tired, so it is 12:15. Didn't realise the time. So anyway, I'm just gonna finish off what I just started there. So outlook. So we'll grab that, cut it, paste it, and then right, we can copy into those two without mucking around with the having to change the color. I mean, so sometimes changing the color and all those sort of things, just trying to get some sort of artistic thing going, adds time. Also realised that copying and pasting and repetitive things like that is a pain in the neck. Now, F9ing, 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 and as you can see, it's doing the thing. So the other thing I need to think about is the character points. I need to make it so that there's a grand total. So let's just say I grab that there and I paste there, and then I make this one equals sum of, let's just say from here happens, yeah, right. Okay, so that is DS198, and that is GX198. No, that's not it. So that's GX198 there. And that is DS. Right, there we go. Cool. So that calculation, of course it's too small to read. Yeah, it's too small to read. I think that it should be showing about 102. That should say 102. Let's just make it bigger. Yep, 102. I'm still cool with it being set to 1 like 1 point, it may be that I can use that number from there where I've got it over here, and maybe I'll use that later on in other calculations. It may be that I'm going to have a full character breakdown, not just an in-character sheet like this, but something that looks a bit more like that for out-of-character purposes. In which case the numbers and stuff like that won't have to be represented in a in this kind of format. Yeah, I'm quite happy with what I'm doing there. What are we up to? I think that was that. Oh, hang on. As you can see, some of these skills are a little bit too big for okay. Yeah, so you can see that I've got of elemental or I've got protection. So yeah, having in the middle, it sucks. Yeah. Look, we could go back to, I mean, look, there's all these little layout things that are a pain in the neck, but the thing is that the whole point is that I can slowly release information. The character sheet has additional information on it. Yeah, the NPCs, there's more information about the NPCs, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'll just try doing this. So cut that and then paste that over here. See if I can do this pretty quickly. Which is to strip out this one here. Make those. There we go. Yep. Now that there is a different color. There we go. All right. Yeah, so by doing that, effectively we're making it so that we've got enough space for all the different variations of skill. And as you can see, they're quite some of them are quite big. Yeah, look, I mean, as I said, these are going to be like possibly character sheets that people are going to carry. They're going to need to read them. The other thing I could possibly do is to bump that up to 10. Now, let's just hit it again. Yeah, look, I'm much happier with what I've just done. Yeah, much happy with what I've just done. So now I'm going to cut that, paste that there. Then I'm going to copy that and then paste that here and that. Should Now continue to populate. Looking good. Got to do that over here. That's fine. Aesthetics. Always aesthetics. Alright. So, we've got this referring to that. That's cool. So we're getting there. So that's update 2, update 3, update 4. And we'll chuck in, we'll just look, I'm just going to complete it. It's no biggin, which is completing the, the transformation, the modification, whatever you want to call it, that I stuffed up before. So copy that, paste that, 4th skill, 5th skill. Yeah, I do want to have continue to have the aliases there. Yeah, I kind of think it's important. Alright. So moving along, just quickly, finishing it off. As I said, disposition. Now we're going to create, cut that, paste it there. Now we've got disposition, outlook. What is it? Yeah, disposition and outlook. Alright. Yeah, so that is looking pretty awesome. So 5th. Okay, let's update 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Cool. Gonna F9 again, and we kind of need to leave the font size alone. We can't really do much about the font size on those ones there. Looking good though. Yeah, so the character sheets. Dear. All right. Bloody hate this. Okay. There's another thing I think I may have stuffed up. We'll cut that. We'll cut all this. Paste it there. Copy that. Paste it there. The reason for this is that what I'm trying to achieve is like a page numbering thing. Because if you've got a deck of these cards, if you've got a deck of these cards, you know, in order to quickly turn to a page, if I don't do it this way, what's that? That's 18. That is 18. I don't think that we're going to get into double digits, but let's check it out. Yep, does all right. Okay, so yeah, look this way. If you basically have a deck of these cards, one on top of the other, and they get out of order or whatever, it's possible to, if they get out of order, it's possible to to put them back in order. Now, what am I doing? Alright, I'm going to do the same thing again. Change that to 2. Yeah, it's kind of alright. Change the color. I might actually, there we go. I'll put the I will put the faction color. Now I think I said something about the faction previously. Yeah. I think I said something about the faction before. So this one here, family origin. So the allegiance. So right now we've got pro Saint-Roger, but we don't have a clear majority of Saint-Roger. Now these towns up here, so look, I could do something like this. I could go equals, and then I could go blah. Alright, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's, now I can do that for the first 5. In order to represent that this is a Saint-Roger fortification, and the people in it, they are Saint-Roger people. That's cool. It works. Yeah, so these ones can be random as they want, but the fact is that there's a good chance that you can see there, anti-Saint-Roger, there's one of them. Anti, there's 2 antis there. There's a pro-independence there. So the thing is, the clear majority are Saint-Roger. So anyway, look, I'm just going to finish this off. There's no point in me rambling and continuing on with the ramble. But yeah, thanks for joining us. If you've got any questions, just feel free to send me a PM or call me up. If there's more information that people want to just look at, there's renegadelarp.com. You can feel free to look at that. If there's any typos, errors, stuff that needs to be modified, edited, then just send me a message and I'll